Sooner Scoop HD.
The communication that we've have had with Coach Bebo, it's been awesome. It's been great. Everyone's really been coming together because we also have another, we also had another O-line transfer coming in as well, and so working with him, just really getting the playbook down, hasn't been too bad, and really enjoying it.
You said you've been on the left side for a long time, replacing tackles on both sides. Bill Bedenbaugh traditionally has been pretty symmetrical, can move guys back and forth. Is that something you've thought about looking at, or just you, in your conversations initially, just pretty much come in, slot in the left tackle, that kind of thing?
That's something, like I said, I've been playing, left tackle for 4 years, and that's something that I would like to continue to do. But I also understand that, nothing's ever going to be given to you. You're going to have to come and work for it. And I believe that I can come in and I want to earn the left tackle spot. And, even with this having my being injured and I'm going to be missing spring ball, it's going to be a lot harder. But I relish in the opportunity to, put forth my skills and, against the coaches and in front of the coaches and against the defensive players and alongside my teammates that, I can confident that, I want to earn that spot. And like I said, I know it's not going to be given to me. I want to work for it. It's going to be hard, but I know I can do it. And that's what I would like to play.
Can you explain that decision? Why the way you? I guess we'll start with injury first. Like why you went about it the way you did.
Yeah. So I guess I'll take you from the beginning, so you can get really see the whole scope of it. Coming into the year as a senior, I had planned to declare no matter what was going to happen. Whether we went 3-9 again, which we did, and no matter what happened, I was going to declare for the league because I could have came out my junior year,
Correct.
but I decided to come back for one more year. And third game season, week 4, labor of tear, shoulder pops out. And at the time, mindset's like, you know what, that's okay. You can still declare and whatnot, you'll be all right. But as the year went on, and I realized that the year didn't go the way I wanted it to, and some of the techniques and habits I was developing wasn't up to my standards or the coach's standards. With the injury, and the team didn't go the way I wanted it as well. In terms of the year, I was talking a lot with my family, and said like, if I'm going to come back, let's look at all of my options. And transferring was one of those options. And with Coach Shaw leaving, and new staff coming in, so maybe it's good to have a fresh start somewhere else. And I decided to look at my options, and those options, Oklahoma, Auburn, those different schools I took a look at, and ultimately I landed on Oklahoma. And I wish nothing but the best, for Coach Taylor and his staff at Stanford. I hope we see them in the playoffs or the championship or bowl game. But I really love Coach Bedenbaugh talks and what he's about, and he says that he can take me to the next level, and I believe that I can help Oklahoma, and I know that they'll be able to help me.
How different is that recruiting process when you're just looking for that one year compared to like when you go through high school?
It is a little different. One, I would say, when I entered my name in the transfer portal, when I got all these text messages and whatnot from different coaches, and I was like, oh wow, that's a little bit more than I expected, but still like, okay, it's not as overwhelming as it was when I was a freshman or when I was a senior coming out of high school, because I've been around the block a couple times. I've been able to deal with coaches and assistant coaches and just staff kind of text me and talk to me like, hey, can we get you up for a visit and whatnot, and knowing how to deal with them and text them, hey, not right now, I'm busy, because I was still in the middle of exams, when I entered my name in the portal. So at first being able to deal with that, and but in a lot of ways it's a little bit the same, because going to visits, going on official visits, and still talking with coaches, and that stuff really didn't change. But I gotta say it was kind of fun, just being in that the recruiting business again, and going to these different schools and really trying to find what school would be best for me if I wanted to leave. But yeah, there is some difference, but also there's a lot of similarities, and I enjoyed the process.
The 48, 72-hour period with the commitment,
Absolutely.
flip, just what was that process like for you?
Yeah, so one thing is like I'm not the type of person to I would see that on the outside looking in, I'd see some players do that. I'm like, man, how could they do that? Like I could never see myself doing that. And then lo and behold, I found myself in that position. And when I committed to Nebraska, I was happy about it. I was like, okay, this is the right decision for me. But the more I thought about it, and really just like I kind of like shut myself off, from even my family. I was just talking within myself, and the more I thought about it, it's just Nebraska just didn't feel right for me. And one of the things I regret is that I wish I took longer to really consider my decisions and my options, and because I did not want to put the people of Nebraska and football coach, the coaching staff, and the players. I didn't want to put any of them through that, and I apologize that I did, but I ended up had to do what was best for me. I decided that Oklahoma was the right school for me, and I confidently can say that I made the right decision, and I've been nothing but happy here. Talking with all the coaches, and I'm so excited for this coming year. Having the chance of being able to play, compete for bowl games, championships. But yeah, it's not how I wanted to do it, but I did have to do what's best for me. And even though it wasn't in good taste with how even I look at it and how others look at it, like I said, I had to do what's best for me.
So to start obvious, what was it about the Sooners?
I think Coach Beatonbow, he had recruited me a little bit when I was coming out of high school, and then when he recruited me, when he started hey man, what's up? How you doing? He contacted me again. I was like, Oklahoma's interested. That's cool, and really taking a close look at them, but really just the belief that Coach Venables had in me and Coach Beatonbow, they were truly inspiring, and they truly made me believe that they, if I went to Oklahoma, that they could take me to the next level, and that they Coach Venables, he has big aspirations. He's we want to go to the national championship, and I want to go to the national championship, and having those aspirations, and say I believe that we can develop you the type of player that you want to be, being in the first round or going to the NFL draft, and being an elite tackle in the league, and being able to see that and selling me on that dream, and I truly believe that we can do that. I know Oklahoma had a 6 or 7 year last year, but I believe that Coach Venables and the rest of the coaches have brought in a lot of good pieces, and I've seen that in our workouts, and I really just I can't wait for it, and like I said, being here, I think it's been almost a month and a couple weeks now, or a week. I really have made the best decision for myself, and I just.
So what's the injury timeline for you?
Yeah, so I got my surgery on December 20th, 2022. Repair on my right shoulder. I'm going to miss, unfortunately, I will miss spring ball. But I will be back 100%, for the summer. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play football again until training camp. But I made sure I also, I told all the different schools I was looking at what my, my situation was, and they were okay with that. And I've been, steadfast in my recovery and my rehab, and I'm going to come back 100%.
Does that feel, I don't know if weird's the right word, but how tough is that going to be to first spring with your new team and you can't actually get acclimated to it?
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough, that the fact that I can't actually physically go out there and compete with my guys, and really, it's one thing to look at the playbook and learning it, and it's another thing to completely just actually, go and practice, and learning different plays as you play them, and how you see the game. And so, but I think that if I was coming in as a freshman, would be more difficult for me. But I think the experience that I've had as a 4-year starter coming in, I think that's going to pay dividends and to help me moving forward into training camp. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think it does just help me having that background and experience. But also, even though I can't have those physical reps, I can get as much mental reps as I can possible. Which if I know the playbook at the back of my hand, I think that's going to pay dividends to when I go in and training camp and play.
Sooner Scoop HD.